Hi everybody, welcome to this Pilates workout. My name's Debbie and I'm going to be taking you through the practice today. So I've had a lot of interest and people asking for more Yogalates. I've only actually ever done one of those. So today I'm going to incorporate some yoga. We're going to go up and we're going to go into crow. So we'll work our way through to it. We'll start to sort of prepare our body for the pose. Not everybody's going to be able to do it, but you know, there's options there. We'll take a chair pose and we'll also do yoga squats. So we'll get ourselves a little bit of Yogalates going on again. So I hope you're going to enjoy this. What we are going to do, because we need our arms for our crow, we're going to need to sort of strengthen them. I've got hand weights. You don't have to use hand weights, but if you're not using hand weights, good clench of fists. And a block nearby for when we're doing the yoga squat. Some people might prefer to sit on a block if they can't come all the way down. So anyway, if you've heard my blurb, you've read my blog, then do feel free to carry on and start the practice. Otherwise, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself for those who are new here. So as I said, my name's Debbie. I've been doing Pilates now for around the last 18, 20 years. It started after I had a premature menopause at the age of 29. I had osteopenia and then turned into full-blown osteoporosis. The ultimate was when I prolapsed a disc due to sort of obviously the weakening of my bones. I was having lots of endless physiotherapy, having lots of medication, and it was just driving me nuts. I was still quite young and I needed to sort of find something, an alternative. So I looked around and Pilates came up. As I say, I've been doing it now for 18, 20 years. I haven't looked back, and I do hope that if you're doing this practice because you have similar ailments, or if you're just doing it for the free enjoyment or the enjoyment of a workout, then I also hope that you enjoy my practice here. So I'm just going to pop some music on. We will start by laying down. So if you take yourself to mats, you can come down from your side, but if you want to come down with me, then just wait and I'll show you how we'll come down. Okay. So if you're not already on your backs and you want to come down with me, we come down from a seated position, feet firmly on the mat in front of you, nice and flat, and we come down with what I call our C-curve spine. So we roll ourselves down, okay? We keep our head in as we're rolling, and it stays in, and our neck stays up until we've got our mid, lower, and back come down. So we take our hands out in front. If you reach a point, say here, where you can't hold yourself with your core anymore, take behind your legs. Don't take any strain in your spine there. Use your legs to bring yourselves down. Okay, so as I said, we're going to C-curve down. So we're curving our spine down now. We're putting our core in and we're lowering ourselves all the way to the mat, really, really slowly from the core. So the lower back, the mid back, the upper back, and then you can bring the neck down and the head. Okay. Right, so with Pilates, we breathe in through the nose and out from the mouth. Every breath we take, we pull in the core. So we breathe in, we pull in the core. We breathe out, we hold the core tighter. So the theory is to keep the core nice and tight, to protect our spine, to protect our posture and the way we move. So we're going to start by taking a little check-in with our bodies to see how we're feeling today. If you want to notice any areas that are a little bit tense, a little bit achy, a little bit sore, focus on those throughout the practice. So let's start by a nice full body stretch. So if you have lower spine issues, you can take the stretch by having your feet mat width, your knees locked in. You'll breathe in, you pull in your calm, push the spine into the mat beneath, and push your arms away as you squeeze. Squeeze the thighs together, squeeze your glutes, pull in that core and stretch your arms away and have a fabulous stretch there. And then release it. If you want to take a stretch with your legs down long, then do so again. Pulling in your spine, pulling in your core, pushing the spine down into the mat and pushing away. That's amazing. Just stretch out there, holding that core as tight as you can. Squeeze, flex the feet, point the toes, and then release down. Okay, taking your hands down by your sides, taking the legs a little bit wider and letting them drop out. We're just going to now check in. So closing your eyes down if you can, it'll help to stop you from focusing on anything that's maybe going on around the room that you're in, and you'll take the focus internally to see what's going on. Just let the feet rest down. Check in with your ankles, how they're feeling today. Let them be still. Checking in with your calves, your knees and your thighs. Look at both legs, how they're feeling today. Ask them to soften down and notice any areas of tension. We're going to start with our torso, so release the glutes, the pelvis, the lower spine, the mid-spine, the tummy, the upper spine and your chest. Relax that whole torso, and again, focus on areas that might be niggling, tense today, not quite so happy. Ask them to soften down, breathe into those areas and focus on them throughout the practice. Then releasing your hands and your wrists, your lower arms, your elbows and your upper arms. Both arms soft. Ask them to be still and check for any areas that are not quite relaxed. Ask them to soften down. And onto our shoulders and our neck where we hold an awful lot of tension. Maybe just gently rock your head from side to side to release the neck out. Slowly, left and right. And then come into centre. Allow the neck and the shoulders to soften. And then your head. Everything still. Rested down. And just take a quick scan yourself. From the tips of the toes, over your legs, your torso, your arms and your head. And pay particular attention to any areas that are not happy today and focus on them throughout the practice. Start to bring a little bit of movement to the body now. Keeping the eyes closed down if you can. Wriggle your fingers and wriggle your toes. Just slowly, just gently. And then everybody, feet mat width, knees locked in. And again, just sort of relax there. Take the arms out into a T shape. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Then parting the knees, taking a big breath in, pulling in that core. And on the out breath, keep the core tight, drop your legs over to the left hand side. Get to your point of tension, where you feel comfortable, and then just let everything go and rest into that again. Let the core go. Breathe into any areas that are tight. Ask them to soften. Next in breath, pull in the core, and at the same time bring your legs to centre. Don't let the core go, hold it tight. Take a big breath in, pull that core tighter, and on the out breath allow the legs to drop over to the left, and then let everything go again. Release the core when you get to your point of tension. Breathe into those tense areas. Ask ask them to soften and relax. And then next in-breath, pull in the core, and at the same time bring the legs to centre, breathing out at the top and allow the core to release. Okay, we're going to take our legs in, give them a little stretch, so bringing up the right leg, bringing it in towards you. You might feel a release in the lower spine, keeping the right leg, the left leg bent with the foot flat on the mat. Plugging the right leg in, then taking the right leg up and just gently pull it towards you. Not too much, we're still warming up, so don't go too hard on yourself. Slight bend in the knee if you need it, don't lock the knee out. Feel the stretch down the back of the thigh. And then release that leg down. On the next in-breath, pulling in the core, pulling the left leg towards you, giving it a little squeeze in. And then taking the leg up and gently pulling that leg towards you. Keeping the core tight as you release down. Now pulling the core again, pulling both legs up, taking the soles of the feet together if you can. I mean, don't worry if they're apart and you need to take them. I'll just show you this way around. So if you can't actually get your feet together, just allow them just to pull out and pull from that area like that. So we're just going to be opening the inner hips a little bit here, building ourselves up for crow. So we're going to drop our legs down. Releasing the hip joint now. Keeping the core tight, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Every breath you're holding the core. And then release both legs down so that they're flat on the mat, they're hip width apart. Now we're going to get our neutral spine. Neutral spine, take our hands a nice way in. I like to do it, it's a triangular shape, taking it over to the front of our pelvis. And we breathe in, we pull in our core. And as we do so, the core goes downwards. And as you breathe out, you hold the core tighter and you just tilt your pelvis, just slightly lifting it up. Releasing down, hold the core, don't let it go. Breathe in, pull the core tighter. Breathing out, you lift and tilt that pelvis, holding the core, and then release it down. No point, let that core go. Every breath in, you pull the core. Every breath out, you hold the core tight. Just do those gentle moves. And then coming down, holding the core. You should now be in a nice neutral position, so your back should be nicely flat on the floor. Some people do have a natural curve to their spine, so if you do have a little arch there, I wouldn't worry about it. Don't panic, but we don't want great big things like this where our chest is coming upwards. We want a nice, stable back onto the floor. So we're going to come up, we're just going to do a few little bridge tilts, so we're just going to start strengthening our legs. So we're going to breathe in, pulling in the core, keep that core tight, and as you breathe out, you tilt the pelvis, you squeeze the glutes, and you start to lift up. We're not holding, we're just coming back down, we're going back up again, so pelvic tilts, bringing it up, going up into bridge, and then coming back down. Doing that, keeping the core tight the whole time, building up our legs here, breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the mouth as you lift, in through the nose as you lower, out through the mouth as you lift, and you keep the core tight all the time. This time hold it up there. We're going to go for a little deeper bridge if we can. Don't worry if you can't. Take your hands underneath and clasp them together and roll your shoulders under yourself up into a deeper bridge pose there. Holding it there for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the hands if you had them underneath and lower yourself down one vertebrae at a time, all the way to the floor. Excellent. Okay, so we started to strengthen the legs. Now we're going to start to strengthen our arms. Our arms are going to be supporting us in crow, so we want good strength there. So this is where we take our hand weights if we've got them. If you haven't got them, as I said, it doesn't matter, we can do everything without them. If you haven't got them, this is where you're going to clench your fists and you're going to work your arms. Not floppy hands, nice firm hands, using them wrists. And as we're coming up, I like to do the classic sit-up from here and coming up. Okay, but if that's not for you and you want to do it with your legs bent, then do. But keep the arms clenched and keep your feet nicely flat on the floor. Try not to, if you find that when you're coming up your legs are doing this, then you're coming up too high. So just come up and keeping those feet on the floor. Okay, so wherever you can come. But we're just going to start with some gentle sit-ups first. So with our knees bent again, get yourself into a nice pelvic neutral spine, lifting and moving your pelvis up and down if you've come out of that. So you're nicely falling on the mat again. Taking your hands behind your head, breathing in, pulling in that core, and as you breathe out, just lifting up. Breathing in through the nose as you lower, breathing out through the mouth as you lift up, each time pulling the core in. Working that core. Need good core strength when we're doing our crow. And then if you want to take your hands away and rise them up your knees, again, do that. And then this is where you can start to see if you can bring yourselves up a little bit further. As I said, I like to have my legs further down into a classic, and this is where you can take hold of your hand weights if you need them. The reason I do the classic sit-up is that I prefer it for my spine, but a lot of people, you know, they prefer it with their legs bent up. You can still do the same thing here, pulling in the core, keeping your feet nicely flat on the floor. Without hand weights, you're clenching your fists. But you take the option that's best for you. And we're going to do some sit-ups here. So breathing in, as we breathe out, we sit up. We're going to do this for 8. Let's work that core. 7, you can take the arms right behind if you want. 4. That's 3. Keep that core tight. That's 2. And your last one, coming up to a seated position. We'll see in a nice seated position now. Just going to put my hair up. So I want you to bring yourselves round onto all fours. Okay, we're just going to do a little lunge. We're going to open out again some more of the hip, so bringing your right leg forward, allowing the left leg to go back. You might want to push it back a little bit further, and then just allow yourself to come down, drop down, opening out. You might be able to come all the way down onto your elbows, block. So you could have the block there, got your foot out in your lunge position. If you want to come down for a bigger opening, you could come down onto the block. Or you could even have the block so that you're higher up. So, all good. Go what's good for you. Just opening that out now. Then taking that right leg back, bringing the left leg forward. Making sure at all times that the knee doesn't go over the toes. And again, this is here where you can just stretch out. You want to bring your come down onto your elbows and do that. Just hold the stretch. Amazing, guys. Pushing yourself back up, bringing that leg around. Okay. I'm going to do a downward dog, which I do in Pilates all the time. People do associate that with yoga, but it is actually also used in Pilates. It's a fantastic pose. It works our arms, it works our body, our back, our legs. It works everything. So, and also it takes the head below the heart, so the blood pump's lovely. So start by curling your toes up underneath at the back. We've got our hands currently underneath our wrists or underneath our shoulders. Let's take the one hand forward. So you're just out of alignment now. And then taking a breath in, pulling in that core. And as you breathe out, you push yourself up into that downward dog. Okay, you might not get your feet flat on the floor, don't worry. Some people are up on their toes. You go where it's good for you and good for your body. If it's too much on the arms, you can come down and you can come onto what we call dolphin. Nice opening here. The idea is to push the chest towards the thighs. Nice push down there. You want to walk your feet out. You want to stretch one leg, then the other. Up on some toes, both of them dropping down. Get your heels nicely on the floor. And then bend your knees a lot. And walk your hands back towards your toes. We're going to hang here and we're going to do a few classic Pilates roll up, roll downs. Getting our body supple and working every part of our spine. So breathing in, take a big deep breath in, pull in that core. And as you breathe out, start to roll up very slowly, one vertebrae. Squeeze the glutes, make sure they're nice and tight, keep the core pulled in. Take your hands to the front of your legs. I find that always helps. And we're coming up, keeping the glutes tight, the lower back, the mid back, the upper back, the shoulders go back and down, the neck lifts, and then the head. Okay, that's our roll up. We do the very same thing, we roll down. So take a breath in, rolling our shoulders back and down. As we breathe out, we take our chin to chest. We allow the shoulders to come down, the arms to come front of the legs, the upper back comes down all the time, hold that core, squeeze the glutes, the mid back comes down, and then the lower back. You go to your point of tension, wherever you feel comfortable to hang, let everything go, just hold it there, let everything release. A couple of breaths there, in through the nose and out through the mouth, keeping the core nicely pulled in. Taking a big deep breath in with that nice core tight. And as you breathe out through the mouth, keeping the core tight, you start to roll up again. Hands to the front of the legs. Glutes nice and tightly squeezed. Keep coming up. Lower back moves. The mid back and then the upper back. The shoulders go back down, the neck lifts, and then finally the head. Let's do that again. Shoulders back and down. Big breath in, pulling in that core. Breathing out, core tight, chin to chest. Shoulders come forward and go down. Do it as slow as you possibly can, keeping everything tight, the glutes tight, the core tight, keeping it all squeezed in, all the way down to the floor, and then hang. big deep breath in, pulling in the core as you bring yourselves all the way up to standing. Shoulders, neck and head. Okay, as I said, Crow is going to be using our arms. So let's do a little bit of arm work. Although we've done a little tiny piece of arm work, we're going to do some more arm work. So take hold of your weights if you've got them. If you don't have weights, then again, it's squeeze those fists, work the muscles, okay? So taking our feet slightly wider than hip width, so we've got a nice balance. A slight bend in the knees, okay? Don't lock the knees out. Taking our arms up, out front. Let's scissor the arms. Keeping the core tight for every breath. Breathing in, and as you breathe out, you keep the core tight. Breathing in, breathing out. Breath in, breath out. Holding it there. Holding the arms out. If you've got no weight, you're squeezing those fists. Let's do some gentle outward circles. 8, 7, keep the core tight. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Holding it there. Squeeze the glutes as well. Nice support. 8, 7, we've reversed the circle now. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Holding those out there. Taking them out to the side. Holding it there. Turning the palms facing upwards. And we'll do some bicep work here. 6, don't forget core tight, glutes tight. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it there. Turn the palms so that they're facing forward. We'll do some Mac. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, holding it in, taking the arms out. Let's take our arms up for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the arms down. If you've got weights, take them to one side. Give the arms a nice shake. And then taking the right arm, take it across the body and give it a stretch. Keep the glutes pulled. Keep the core tight. We need to support ourselves when we're standing. Taking the left arm across, opening that out now, opening the shoulder. Then taking the hands out in front, clasp the fingers together, pull the fingers away but grip them. And then tilt your head down. Feel the stretch there, keeping the core pulled in, keep your glutes squeezed. Turn the hands so they're now facing outwards. Lift your chin and take the arms up and stretch. Amazing, guys. Shake those arms out. Okay, so we're going to do our chair pose. So this is one of the first yoga poses that I'm bringing in today. So we've got our feet either hip width apart. Some people might like them slightly wider. I like my feet so that they're together. Okay, so I've got both my feet together here. Got the legs nice and tight. Taking the arms up so that they're up by the ears. And then you sit yourself down. Gradually sit yourself down as if you're sitting onto a chair. keeping the arms up if you can. If it's too much, you can take your hands to your hips, and we're staying there in a seated position for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring yourself back up to standing. Okay, let's do that again. Pulling the core in tight, breathing in, and as we breathe out, we keep the core tight, and we sit ourselves back into chair for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming back up. Don't forget, keep that core tight. We're going to need that core as tight as we can for our crow pose. Working towards it, guys. Let's take it for one more time into our chair pose. Sit down. Holding everything there, squeezing everything tight. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the core. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And bring yourselves up. Well done. Okay, back to the top of our mats. We're going to take our Pilates roll down, and we're going to go into our yogi squat. Okay, so if you've got a block nearby for the yoga squat, actually I'll bring mine nearby so I can show you. Or you can do it without. Shoulders back and down, standing nice and tall, breathing in, pulling in that core, taking our chin to chest as we breathe out, and we start to roll down. Shoulders come forward, the upper back, the mid back. Don't forget to squeeze everything, keep the glutes tight. Lower back all the way to the floor. If you need to bend your knees here to walk your hands forward, then do. Coming down to all fours. So, yoga squat. Actually, we can convert to yoga squat from standing, might be better for some people. So we're going to go feet nice and wide, and then we've got our back nicely straight, and we're going to drop ourselves down into our yogi squat. Okay, some people might be up on their toes. You can use the block to put underneath your back to support you, like to support you when you're sitting, or you can just do it without. So I like my feet nicely flat, turned out slightly, pushing the elbows into your legs, hands together in prayer position. This is a yogi squat. Now I find this quite comfortable. As you can see, I've got a little towel here. That's from my t-shirt. I'm going to pop that up because it did look a bit odd there. So hands together, let's sit here, open out the hips, close the eyes down if you wish, and enjoy. Really relax into it, nice restful pose. Breathing in through the nose, just core tight, and breathing out through the mouth. In yoga, they breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, so if you want to do that at this point, as it's a yoga posture, then do feel free to. And then releasing yourself, bringing yourself round, ready for our crow. So we've built ourselves up, we've strengthened our legs, we've worked our arms, and we've got a nice, good core. So we should be nice and warm now, ready to go into crow. So there are a couple of options with crow. So you can take it so that your knees are slightly out, the side of the legs, above the elbows, and you bring in your then you might want to take one foot up. You might want to take the other foot up. You might want to take both legs up and hold it there. This is crow. Okay, that's the first one. The other one, you can take it from a standing position here, and the knees are going to go on to the front part of the arms at the top there, okay, rather than outside. And again, This one I find a little more difficult, but I'll have a go. So you can lift one leg, you can lift two legs, we can lift both. I did it. So, have a go, guys. See what you think. You know, if you want to take block forward so you don't feel like you're as far forward, you know, using, I think actually you could probably do it with two blocks. So you've got, you know, your hands on blocks, and you can do it from blocks here maybe. Yeah, have a go, see what's good for you. Might not feel that you're quite as far from the floor if you're doing it with the blocks. Might even want to have a go. No, I don't think it's going to work like that. I was thinking that maybe if it's a little bit difficult going forward, what I could recommend, but I think it's probably just a case of here and just try lifting your legs one and then the other and bringing yourself up. Well, actually you're doing all really well, so well done, guys. Look at you lot. I think you're doing fabulous. So I'm quite glad I brought this posture in. I'm going to have one more attempt, and I think, you know, you guys have another attempt as well, wherever you might be. Coming up, holding that pose, and then coming down. Amazing. Okay, I'm going to go back into child's pose now. So child's pose, you can do it from your knees. You can come across, or you can take your knees mat width apart, lock your toes in together, sitting on your heels, wherever you are, if it's knees together or apart, breathing in, pull the core in, and as you breathe out, lower yourself down, and before you rest and let everything relax, pull away with your arms, open those shoulders that we've just been working, stretch the arms, and then rest down. So child's pose is used in yoga and Pilates. It's the resting pose, so at any point throughout the practice, if you feel you need to rest, this is the posture to take and breathe and relax yourself. So you can have your arms out front, you can have them down by the sides. My favourite is on top of my back. I just feel like I get a little bit of opening here. It's just the natural weight of my arms pushing down. I don't put any weight onto it, I don't force them down. But you choose your, you know, your option. And let's relax here. Fabulous, guys. Pushing yourself up. Bringing yourselves round to seated. We're going to have a little bit of a stretch out now. Stretch our legs. We've actually done amazing. We've done a lot of work today. So sitting up nice and tall. Just going to turn our body so we're facing over our right leg. And we're going to allow ourselves to come down over our right leg. Wherever that might be, you might be up here. You're still opening out and you're still having a good open here and you're stretching down. Excuse the dogs, they're barking. All the stretch along the back of this right leg. They've worked hard today, those legs. Bringing yourself back up. Breathing in, keep the core tight. And as you breathe out, come down over the left leg. And feel the stretch there. Bring yourself back up to centre. Just going to walk our hands forward, wherever that might be. Just come down where you can, bringing yourself down and gently opening. yourselves up. Taking the legs together. Taking the right leg, if you can, over to the left, over the left leg. Okay, if it's too much for you, you can just leave it to the other side. Taking here, we're going to take a stretch to the right hand side. So you can either hold on to your leg, taking the right hand behind, pushing into it so that we're nice and tall, and then twisting your body. So we've got a little spinal twist here. If you want it deeper, you can take your arm in front and you can twist. And some people, they even take the bind here. So come round here. Hang on, I'm trying to think, how do we do the bind here? The bind is, I've forgotten how to do the bind. It's that way. Oh no, no, it's that way. So yeah, so the bind is this way. So we've got the leg that way, and we're going to come round here, and we take our bind that way. Sorry guys, that took me to figure it out a bit long. So yeah, you can do it that way, if that's good for you. Okay, let's take that on the other side. So we're now taking our left leg over our right, we're taking our arm around, putting our left hand behind, pushing up, making ourselves tall, and then just gently twisting, so we're coming around. And again, if you want to take the bind, it will be that way, there, setting yourselves tall. And then releasing yourselves out of that. Just going to take one full body bend down over our legs now. So sitting nice and tall, breathing in, nice straight body. We're bringing our chest towards our knees. We're not hanging and dropping down. We're coming forwards. We're going to open that whole spine now. So shoulders back and down, sitting tall. Start to lever yourself down. So our chest is coming towards our knees. You can take behind your feet if that's good for you. If it's just here, that's fine. Every move that you make, you'll gradually come down lower. So every breath in, and then every breath out, you take yourself a little bit lower. Here it's a little harder holding the core, but try if you can. Releasing out all the way down the spine. And then taking yourself back up to seated. We're going to come down to our backs. We're going to do a little more stretch, and then we're going to come into a nice relaxation. Well deserved today, guys, really deserved. So if you're coming down from your sides, come down from your left if you have low blood pressure. I'm going to advise you, if you're coming down from me as the start of the practice, feet nicely flat on the mat, hip width apart with our legs, taking our arms out, and we're going to C-curve down. So we're coming down very slowly. So breath in, pull that core tight, breathing out, start to roll down. Hold it there. Breath in, breath out. Hold it there. Breath in, breath out. Hold it. Breath in, keep that core tight. Breath out. Hold it. Breath in. Last time, breath out. All the way slowly to the floor. Arms overhead for our full body stretch. Again, you can take your knees locked in and feet mat width if that's good for you. Stretch that body, really stretch it away. Don't forget, as you're breathing, try and push the core back into the mat. Core in and back into the mat. And then release. Okay, so we're going to do our spinal twist that we did at the beginning of the class as well. So that can be done as we did it at the start of the practice with our feet mat width. You can do them with our feet so that they're hip width apart. Or you can take your right leg over your left. Taking their arms out, you can have them either T-shape, or you can have them into cactus where you bend at the elbows. Into cactus, you can open your chest a little bit more here. So breathing in, pulling in the core. And as you breathe out, keep the core tight, dropping the legs over to the left-hand side. And looking over to your opposite arm. Relax into this now, let the core go, let everything go, and breathe into softer or tense areas. Ask everything to soften. We're cooling down now, we're coming into relaxation shortly. start to slow the heart rate, slowing the breathing. Pulling in your core now, breathing in, and at the same time bringing the legs to centre. Hold the core. Uncross the legs if you have them crossed. Keep that core tight as you're breathing. Taking the left leg over the right. Breathing in, core tighter. And as you breathe out, drop the legs over to the right hand side. Get to your point of tension where it's comfortable for you and let everything go. Let the core go. Take your gaze to the opposite arm if you can. Close the eyes down as well, it's quite nice here, it helps to focus internally. Extend breath in, keep that core pulled in. Bring in the same time the legs to centre, reaching centre, uncross. Breathe out, let the core go. Okay, we're just going to have a little stretch in now, so bringing our right leg in, squeezing it in, squeeze it in tight, lifting it up as we did at the start of the practice, but this time you'll probably find you'll be able to bring it a little bit closer. Stretching it out, stretching out down the back of the leg. Again, a little slight bend, never really lock the leg out. And then releasing it all the way down to the floor. It's taking the left leg up, squeeze it in. And taking it up long, squeeze that inwards. And taking that leg down, taking your legs long, give yourself one last stretch. Wait for the knees locked in, wherever you feel best. Let's start to go into relaxation now, guys. Work the body well. So closing your eyes down if you can, so that you're not distracted by anything with this in your room. And you're actually focusing internally on what's going on with your body. Allowing the feet to drop outwards. Relaxing your toes. Relax the soles of your feet and the tops of your feet. Let the heels be heavy into the mat beneath you as the feet drop down and rest. Relaxing your calves, your knees and your thighs. Both legs fully relaxed. Let those glutes go, really relax the glutes. Feel them as they're heavy in the mat beneath. Relax the pelvis, feel the glutes become heavier. Relax your lower core and your lower spine. Let your mid-spine rest and your tummy. Your upper spine and your chest. Your whole torso rested and heavy. Let it go. Relax your 10 fingers, backs of your hands and the palms of your hands. Your wrists, lower arms, toes and your upper arms. Notice the points of your arms that are touching the floor, how heavy and restful they feel. Press those shoulders down. Release the neck and the head. Notice how heavy your head feels. Relax your facial muscles, so let the jaw go. Let the cheekbones soften down. Your eyes as they rest. Your eyebrows and your forehead. Let all those wrinkles smooth out. Let the whole face be tenseless. Release the top of your head. Your whole body soft and still, surrendered to the ground beneath. The only movement is your breath as it rises and falls within your belly. Visualize the sea and the sun. Waves as they come in towards you and then wash away. And as the wave comes towards you, it brings a light breeze that gently flows over your body from the tips of your toes, over your legs, your torso and your arms, and away past your head. And as the tide goes back out, it brings the breeze back over your head, your shoulders and your arms, over your torso, your legs, and away from your feet. The sun coming down, warming your body. And you are totally relaxed. Staying here now for a few moments, acknowledging any thoughts that come into your head and let them go. Keep your concentration on your breath. Start to bring a little bit of movement back to our bodies now. Moving our fingers and our toes. Taking what movements you need to wake yourself up, keeping the eyes closed down if you can. Maybe moving your head from side to side, maybe moving your hips, whatever's good for you. And when you're ready, I want you to take yourself onto your side. Come onto your left-hand side if you have low blood pressure. It's good to shift your hips before you come over onto your side. So shifting the hips the opposite way to which you're coming over. It helps. Rest your head on your arm, made as a little pillow with. And we now have our lungs free. So we're going to fill them up with air. So take a big deep breath in through the nose and fill those lungs. Then out through the mouth, let all that stale air go. Do it one more time, big deep breath in. And breath out. Keeping the eyes eyes closed if you can. Bring yourself round onto all fours. Looking down at the floor. Gently flickering your eyes open downwards. Then curling your toes underneath you. Take your fingertips back towards your knees. Push into your fingertips so that you are up on your toes. Bring your fingertips closer, push into them so that you are up onto flat feet and hang there for a ragdoll, allowing the spine to open one more time. Then a great big bend into